Non-stop new titles are packed back to back in huge volumes, and it's beautiful. Hi, it's Takshi here. So this time we'll be introducing the noteworthy light novels that will be released in December. We hope that not only people who want to know the latest trends in light novels, but also people who don't usually read light novels will be interested in light novels. I will introduce the works in detail, so please use this video to find the works you are interested in. This time I will focus on Bunko and GAGAGA Bunko Fantasia Bunko, which will be released in mid-December. Let's take a close look at the notable works that will be released. There is also the latest edition of a popular series that will be released for the first time in several years, so be sure to check it out until the end. Let's get started on December 15th. From the GAGAGA Bunko released on the 1st. Let's start with the notable works of the sequel title in the series. Yua's Job Extra Edition Volume 1. Cavalry of Rakudakishi Volume 19, and a new work, The Unmotivated Genius, Prince and the Ice Witch's Bride Class, Maribelli. These are the three titles. Let's take a look at each one. First of all, this is the extra edition of Ryua's work. This is a collection of short stories that comprise the bonus novels of Ryua's work, in addition to the store bonus short stories from volumes 1 to 8 of the main story, and the short stories included in the limited edition. It's a series that also includes the newly written stories chart. It looks like this will be the first collection of short stories. This will be a must-see collection of short stories for people who like Chao. Since it has numbering, it seems like they will release several books in between the main stories. This is a must-see for fans of the series. This is a useful check. This is Chivalry of a Failed Knight Volume 19. It's been 3 years since the latest edition of the Masaneko series, so the long-awaited new book has been released. While tourism was at a standstill, the author Mizoru Riku-sensei started a new series and completed it. She must have been patiently waiting for the main character, who has the nickname of the Worst, to defeat the strong enemies lined up from the worst path. The development of this work is extremely exciting, and it has been made into a TV anime as a very popular school sword action movie. The animation was also very good, so it seems that there are many people who have not read the original but liked the anime. This story reaches its climax in the first new volume of this series in 3 years. Even though it's the first new volume in a while, it feels like it's the final chapter all at once, but sightseeing stopped when the final scene started, so it's an amazing part. And in the final scene, it seems like a very classic final battle will unfold as all-out action is taken to save the heroine Stella, who is being held captive by the enemy. This kind of straightforward thickness is also the appeal of this work. The cover also features a final illustration of the heroine in a wedding dress. It's fine because it's like this, so anyway, this year is really the rush to finish popular series is amazing. I'm both happy and sad, by the way. This time, to commemorate the final issue, a 160-page booklet is included. Special edition, and a special edition with an additional tapestry will be released. A special edition with a crowd is 5,000 yen excluding tax. If the tapestry is included, it will be a whopping 12,000 yen. It is a quite expensive special edition. It is the final release for the first time in a year, so fans of the series will be excited to get this glorious special edition. Just enjoy this series to the end, including what kind of happy ending the story will turn out to be. Next, we will introduce the noteworthy works of the new series. The Unmotivated Genius, Prince and the Ice Witch Maribelli. This is one of the works. Let's take a look at it right away. This seems to be a super royal school fantasy that starts with a power map. Yusanaki's stylish cover illustration is cool and nice. Also, it's written as Bride Classes, which makes it read as Maribelli. The story of this work begins with an unmotivated prince who can't use magic to 6. His grades are on the verge of dropping, and he ends up marrying a powerhouse. It is suddenly comfort. The main character, who has become engaged to the heroine he has, will show his true intentions to save her from the crisis. So it seems like this will be an interesting development with the main character hiding her abilities. This heroine seems to have a lot of feelings, so I think it will be fun to watch her gradually fall in love with the main character. The main character also seems to be quite the arrogant type, and when she makes a decision, she makes a decision exactly, which is cool. Just the packaging feels like it's taken from the very popular series, so it's unique to this work. Just the key is how to show originality. In this kind of genre, the key is how cool the main character is, so I'll be interested to see how that turns out. If you're interested, check it out. She's Hepton's Atali, Runakari or Wandering Witch, The Journey of Eleni. The school story. This is a guy novel released in December. It will be released on the 15th, and it is a new spin-off of Elena, the Witch series, and it is full of popular characters. It's a school comedy. The idea of doing a school spin-off of a travel-related novel has become a tradition that has continued since Yesterday's Journey. I think the producers may have been aiming for it. She's on to become a high school girl. It looks like it will be a school parody story, with many of the witch's regular characters, including Elena. There will be plenty of development that you would never see in the main story, such as Elena playing in a girl band at a music festival, a parody-type story. Since it is a spin-off of the series, it seems like it will be a book for fans of the series. If you're a fan of the series, be sure not to miss out on buying it. Bunko also has other works, which include The Path of the Nest-class adventurer Tuitule. A boy who was expelled from the party awakens to his true ability of Weapon Master, and eventually he becomes the strongest in the world, Volume 2, which will also be on sale on the same day. Series fans should not miss this as well. This is Fantasia Bunko. First of all, let's start with the title of the sequel to the series, a story about buying classmates once a week, Volume 3. I'll pick up one of these works. This series is a youthful work of Yuri-type youth. Yuri Stories has been growing on it recently. It feels like it's getting a lot of attention, and I think this series is one to watch out for this year. This light novel is ranked 9th in the paperback category and 7th in the new category from Honorana, so it's not a very popular series. To be honest, I was quite surprised that it made it into the top 10. It is because it's one of the best light novels in the series, or rather, the humidity is high. The story is a little damp, and as the title suggests, it's a story about buying the right to free a girl classmate once a week, so it's quite an immoral word. Well, that's true. The story depicts a rather troublesome relationship, and the unique development in which two people who are neither friends nor lovers, but have a strange connection becomes attractive even among them. There's no doubt that this is a very special work. In the latest edition of this work, the two who are still feeling a strange distance from each other gradually begin to think about their future together, and it looks like it will be a story in which Yuri accelerates. I think it would be a big deal if the amount I had accumulated exploded, so I hope it will happen. If you'd want to enjoy the serious Yuri pattern, check out this series. Next, check out the new series. Just take a look at the works. When VTubers of unknown gender met offline, all of them were girls except me and a witch-hunting girl's lonely graduation. A solitary anti-witch weapon infiltrates a girls' school. We will pick up these two works. First of all, we'll pick up these two works. This on VTubers of unknown gender met offline. All of them are girls except me. This is a romantic comedy about VTubers. It looks like it's a special-length award-winning work. New books in the VTuber genre are already being released at an alarming rate. This work tells a group of VTubers who are active due to gender injuries are having an offline meeting and thought it would be all men, but it seems like it's the beginning of a group of viewers who are all girls except for the main character. It looks like it will be a romantic comedy about VTubers that depicts not only their activities but also their real side. In addition, after the offline meeting, rumors that the main character is actually a girl are circulating, which will attract attention in the streaming community. It seems like that's the case, but if it turns out that he's actually the only guy in a VTuber group, I feel like it's going to cause a lot of trouble, but I wonder what's going to happen in that area. In light novels in the VTuber genre, there's a strong separation between comedy and seriousness, so that's about it. It's hard to know what's going to happen in some part, but it's probably a romantic comedy. Since I think it will be a more complete story, so if you're interested in that part, please read the cow version first. Essentially, next here's a witch-hunting girl's lonely graduation plan. A solitary anti-witch weapon infiltrates a girls' school. This new work is like Girl Meets Girl's Yuri Fantasy. The story of this work is set in a world where there is a war between humans and witches. The main character, who is known as a witch hunter and possesses witch blood, hides his true identity and lives at school in order to prove his safety. It seems to start from the point where you will send it. If it fails, it will be immediately. The protagonist takes on the life-threatening mission of disposing of waste, but in reality, despite her strongest fighting ability, she seems to be a super shy character with the weakest comic ability. It looks like he's going to spend a hectic school life with his juniors who keep an eye on him. The worldview itself is quite serious, but if you look at it like a Garukome style, you'll be able to enjoy it. There seems to be a battle element, so I guess the key point is to see how much the story will unfold in the latter half of the story. By the way, the author of this work is Mr. Shigeta Kumagai, who won the Newcomer of the Year award in his previous work Kaigan Taizen 1. So it was a full-fledged fantasy that was more like a familiar story. So it will be interesting to see how they put together a new work from that. So if you're interested, please check it out. Fantasia Bunko also has other interesting works, includes Chuyosuji Dakuen Diabarita or Pochina Sensei to Pia Kondera Mota, Ojodata, English T. I was too strong and failed at school. When I paired up with a botched teacher, she turned out to be a former princess. Shiku was Pata Kurayan Seishinai. And Kamkura, since the unscrupulous lord has no remorse, Bishijo Soroi no Airai ni Sodet Varita, Oreda Jinrui no Kirifuda Ninata Kuda. His title, I was raised by a heroic spirit full of beautiful girls, and became humanity's trump card, Sispon Sanin Torjan, and attained that these two my no Hinkaga, Kakira Uglish title. Here's how my sister-in-law changed after I had a sister-in-law, and my brother's older sister found out that I was actually the strongest magician, Sisorthantia. I can no longer hide my ability at school volume 2. All these titles will be released on the 20th of December, so if you do interested, do take a look out for it. Let's take a look at the works of GAGAGA Bunko, which will be released on December 18th first. Let's start with the noteworthy works of the series' sequel titles. Mimosa's Confession Volume 4 Volume 6, Too Many Amusing Heroines. We will pick up these two works. Let's start with Mimosa's Confession Volume 4. I think the series was scheduled to be released around summer of this year, but it has grown so fast that the new volume will finally be released. I'm glad it's finally released before the end of the year. It's Meiya Hachimoku Sensei's only series work, so it's a monophonic version. I'm sure it's a different level of difficulty, and since this series is unusual even in its name because it's based on the theme of gender identity disorder, it seems that writing the story requires a lot of sensitivity. It's a boy named Shio. Shayatu Kikinoki's younger sister of Misao suddenly wears a sailor suit and goes to school as a girl. The story begins with the release of the book, and it's a truly wonderful work that depicts the conflict between the main character and his childhood friend. I think it's worth reading because it's a series that shines with vivid and delicate psychological depiction. This is the case with this series, but the latest edition seems to focus mainly on past episodes, and the story of why Ushio decided to live as a girl and traces his life will be drawn. But in a sense, this is an episode that can be said to be the basis of the series, so I understand that it will take some time to write it. It looks like it will be a very sad and heavy story, so fans of the series should be prepared to read the latest volume. So next is Too Many Losing Heroines Volume 6, the latest volume of romantic comedies focused on loser heroines that started when they won the Newcomers Award. This is a romantic comedy with a new feel typical of GAGAGA Bunko, but it is steadily accumulating function. This is the beginning of the previous work, where all of the heroines like men other than the main character, and all of them are in a losing position. From the beginning, where the comedy elements are strong, the romance part gradually becomes more tantalizing. As a comedy, it's a slow start to work. As the number of characters increases, loser heroines gather around the protagonist. So I'm curious as to when the romantic comedy race will accelerate. Basically, it's a laid-back romantic comedy, but once the switch is turned on, it feels like it's going to take you all at once. The latest edition features the first date with one of the heroines. Since the event is about to happen, it looks like the story will have a strong romantic comedy feel. It will be interesting to see if this turns into a full-fledged romantic comedy novel. Also, it seems that a collaboration with Jiaotou Kokaido has been decided for this work. Besides, the commemorative illustration has been released. It seems that this collaboration was decided because the setting is to Ashi Aichi, but at that time the collaboration project has already been made into a GAGAGA Bunko bot. Twitter has also been released its collab, so it looks like they'll be coming up with various collaboration projects from now on, so keep an eye out to see what happens with them. That's all for introducing the notable titles of the series. Next up is the new series. This is not more than 15 light years away. The cover has a light glittery feel. It has a stylish atmosphere, which is a nice touch. I personally like the fact that the title has a sci-fi feel. I like it. The story of this work is about the human observation market. Jin's story begins with an abnormal situation in which the largest response flare causes a large-scale power outage across the globe, completely halting Japan's communications infrastructure. The main character is a former self-defense force officer, and in the midst of panic in Tokyo, he takes action to save the life of his first love and the crisis in Tokyo. It has a movie-like content, so I'm pretty excited. Hey, so the author Shinbaba Nita Sensei has written a lot of science fiction youth stories, so this seems pretty promising. By the way, the term 15 years is in the title, refers to the distance between Oriheim, Hemama Vega, and Altair. I guess he's referring to the heroine who isn't as far apart as Oriheim and Haikuboshi. So it's nice to have such a personal expression. This is a new work that I'm really looking forward to, so I'm planning on purchasing it. If you're interested, please check it out. This is GAGAGA Bunko also has other good works, like Hyokutsu Raijo Samae, Fufuro Shitara Mekemeka de Kiaizo Retei Shimata Kudan Volume 2, Hishin, the case where I helped the freezing lady and she doted on me like crazy, which will be on sale this 18th, so don't miss it. Has introduced the new book that will be released in the middle of the year. This time as well, we have a very rich lineup with the conclusion of popular series and various new works by VTubers. As for everyone, what did you think of this lineup? If there is something you were interested in, please let me know in the comment section. That's all for this video. I'll be introducing new books again next week, so I'd be happy if you could click the subscribe button or watch another video to show your support for the channel. See you soon. See you in the next video. Goodbye.